Okay. I call the meeting for the Committee on Economic Development. Good morning, everyone. Okay, Madame the Clerk, roll call, please.
Commissioner Ware. Commissioner Varga. Here. Commissioner Palomero. Commissioner Baker McCormick. Here. Commissioner Baydoun.
Here.
Commissioner Anderson.
Here.
Chair Hattis.
Present.
You have a quorum present.
Thank you. Okay, so noted. Next item.
B, approval of the December 10th, 2019 meeting minutes.
So moved.
Motion been made and supported. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those who agree signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Oppose? Motion carried. Next item.
C, old business, there is none.
Next.
Item D1, under new business, communication from Republic Industrial and Energy Solutions forwarding a notice of transfer of the
Madam, Ms. Commissioner Ware?
1, 2, 3, and 4 to receive.
2 to 4, I think we could have those.
1 through 4.
Yes, 1 to 4. Motion been made and supported. Any discussion? Anybody have any comment on items 1 to 4? Seeing none, motion been made and supported. All those who agree signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Oppose? Motion carried. Now we could move to the addenda. Madam the Clerk.
Item 6 on the addenda, requesting commission approval of a contract with the one-year option to renew with Wade Trim Associates, Inc.
Okay, anybody would like to explain a little bit about that contract?
Mr. Chair,
Commissioner Ware?
yes, before he give us an explanation, we just need to welcome him back, because, you know, he was away, and look how good he's looking. So he had a successful medical challenge. Thank you.
Well, I would say welcome back, but in my case, he's like bad penny. He's been following me since 1993. We've been working
you are-
together on project, CDBG, then I lost him,
what
then
you
he
did.
come back, but welcome back.
Welcome
Thank
back.
you.
Yes,
Thank you.
yes.
That's why you look overwhelmed with joy.
Oh, thank you.
Terry Carroll, Community Development. Before you today, you have a contract that will allow us to complete the analysis of impediments to fair housing, which is a requirement of our 5-year consolidated plan that needs to be submitted to HUD in order to receive CDBG, home, and ESG funds. What this will do is it will follow a very set procedure established by HUD, where we look at certain issues throughout the county and assess the impediments that may exist in the county to fair housing choice. This RFP was sent out to several people, firms that have expertise in this area, and we only received one bid on it, and they actually lowered their price after we got back with them. What we're doing this year, this 5-year consolidated plan in the impediment analysis, is we're actually expanding it. We're taking the recommendation of HUD and making it a regional impediments analysis, particularly with our home program with the 5 communities of Livonia, Dearborn, Lincoln Park, and Taylor, where we're including them this year. With specific attention being paid to Dearborn and their unique population, in that we will perform the the impediments analysis that they in turn also have to include in their individual 5-year plans that are filed with HUD. and we will go ahead and provide them with the data that they require. This is something that will have to be in place by August 16th, and we recommend that you approve it. And I'd be happy to answer any questions.
There any question for Mr. Carroll? Commissioner Varga?
Hi, Lincoln Park is aware of all this, correct?
Yes, they are part of the home consortium.
Okay. Just want to make sure. Thank you.
Commissioner McCormick?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Clarification on, you said the bid was put out, and for how long was that?
Oh, boy. It was quite some time.
Okay,
Yeah. We were concerned, too, that we only received one bid.
right. And because the company that actually bidded on it doesn't really have expertise in that area, right? Or-
Actually, they do. The person that is going to be the charge person on it has done several of these.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, it just looked like from the information that was provided that they are more engineering-based and.
They
so
have
I
a
was just-
very large planning component, and the person that is going to be the go-to person on it has done several impediments analysis.
Okay. Yeah, I was just wondering because it seemed like we would have got more bids than,
I personally talked to one or two firms and encouraged them to respond, and they did not.
thank you.
Any other question? I think Waitrem, it's a company been dealing with the county for a long time, and they have expertise in many different fields too. So that make them really on the top of the list with experience and knowledge of what we need to do. So with that motion.
Move for
Commissioner
approval.
Motion been made and supported. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those who agree signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Next item.
5, a presentation by Khalil Rahal, Assistant County Executive.
Okay. Mr. Rahal.
Good morning,
Good morning.
to the chair and to the rest of the body. Thank you for having us today. Going to distribute some materials to everybody and make sure they have it before I start talking. You also have some
Thank you.
information on the screens, if it can, what's going on? Is it working? Are the screens not working?
It just went on standby while I was sitting there, so I tried moving the mouse pad around. There was no response from
$5
it.
million increase in IT budget. We can't get the screens to work. Mark? Carlos?
Well,
Carlos?
I think we going through to the new system paperless. Next time you email it, then we have it on our laptop. You don't have to go
Okay.
through that. So
It's good we brought.
anyway, we learn about
Yeah.
the new system more.
Well, I'll go ahead and give it a shot. Okay, there we go. Well, thank you through the chair and to the rest of the body for having us today. Mr. Commissioner, thank you for being here. And as you all know, the Wayne County Commission approved our budget last year, and it included a reformation, a new department, the Economic Development Department. And, part of that department, there is a division for economic development. It is a new division, and we wanted to present that to you all today so that you all get a sense of what's happening. I appreciate you taking the time to be here. We wanted to come earlier, and I apologize for that. There were some I know we were on your agenda, Mr. Chair, before, but there were scheduling conflicts, and got almost everybody here. So, as you all know, we have had a lot of successes when it has come to economic development, and it has paid some dramatic dividends. We have had projects like Clark Park. We have had sales of property like 640 Temple, 511 Woodward, and McLeod Steel, and the Pinnacle Project, and the list kind of goes on and on and on. When it comes to the sale of real estate, people don't always recognize this, but the Warren Evans administration has sold and closed on over 1,000 acres of sale while we have been in office. And I don't know that people always think about that. And those properties are on the tax rolls. There are things being moved on those properties now. Development takes a long time. You'll have big projects like McLeod Steel that has 40 some odd buildings that are being demolished. That takes time. There's, the Pinnacle that's got 650 acres to develop. That takes a lot of time. But things are moving. Things are moving in a positive direction. Many, many communities take the philosophy that with a little bit of investment in economic development, it can pay dividends for a community. It can create jobs, it can create investment, it can create a new tax roll, help with the betterment and quality of life. And that's really what our little corner of our world is focused on. And so we wanted to be able to present that to you all today. Every year, we give a presentation to the credit rating agencies, Moody's, Fitch, S&P. And they know our numbers pretty well. And we still present them our numbers. We still put a story to it. But the one thing they don't know about, and the one thing that they always ask us about, are tell us about your economic development projects every year. And they take that into account when they look at our credit rating and our bond ratings. And so Warren Evans administration has gotten a credit rating increase every year we have been in office. And every year during our presentation and every year we field questions about what is happening in economic development. And so this is becoming increasingly important in our world. So we wanted to present to you, the team wanted you to know that every one of the members that you're going to meet today cover certain areas, and where they cover those areas that cover your district, I really want you to get to know the business development manager in your district. Our administration in the past has always kind of taken a, maybe a hands-off approach where folks, want you to contact one person to get your information. Our department does not want to be that way. We want you all to know who the business development manager is in your area, because if there is an announcement, if there is a resolution, if there is something that's happening in your district that you want to know about, we want you to know exactly who to call, the business development manager in your district. They're all brand new, so it's going to take them time. So bear with us a little bit, but we want you to get to know who is covering your area, okay? So very briefly, when it comes to economic development, can you back up? Yeah. The county executive has said, there's a couple of ways of doing this. Wayne County can spend resources. We can travel the world. We can try to go to China. We can try to, not now, right? But that's the one that always kind of comes up, right? Right. But the idea is that we can try to attract places from outside to bring them within. The other way of doing it is to help foster existing businesses grow and expand. And that's really where the county executive's heart is at. It's really on focusing existing developments. The Detroit Regional Chamber will tell you that somewhere between 70 and 80% of all the new jobs and new investment that will come into Wayne County next year will come from existing businesses. And so while, it's always fun to bring the shiny coin from overseas, sometimes the best philosophy is your own blocking and tackling from within your own backyard. And that's really where his philosophy sits. You can go to the next slide. And these numbers are a little off. You'll see that there's the Wayne 19, I think, should be 20, actually. So this is a mistake on our part. But we wanted to try to benchmark where things were at compared to other counties. How are they spending their resources? Do they invest in economic development? And you can see, even with our increase this year, we're still behind the other counties. You can see Washtenaw County, Macomb County, Oakland County heavily outspend us when it comes to economic development. Also worth noting, those three counties, AAA bond ratings. They are very well off in their finances because they take a philosophy that an investment in developing your economy will pay off dividends. And this is sort of what our team looked like last year. This is the new department, if you will, and how it interacts together. The ones in the gray are not county functions. The one in the blue are. And I just, to give you a sense, we wanted to put them on here because we wanted to be transparent enough to show you that we do work with these other agencies to help facilitate our economy. You can see I'm the assistant county executive, and below there is 3 internal divisions. You know, the economic development division, capital department, and buildings administration, and community development. And I want to talk a little bit about those 3 and how they work together. Clearly, the economic development department is to help facilitate, growing existing developments, business retention, business expansion, helping community projects get over the finish line. And then there's a very natural way to see how that affects our economy. The middle division, the capital division, is moved under our function, and the reason why is because we saw us working together so much over the last few years. As I mentioned, right, the Wayne County administration has sold over 1,000 acres since we've taken office, and many of those are housed in the buildings division. And so we see us working together all the time, and so it just kind of made sense for us to be housed under the same division department. And community development. You all know, we've been talking about this for years. We know we have changed the CDBG formula, if you will, to be, much more fair and I think attractive process. And a lot of those projects that are coming in are economic development projects. And so, yes, we have a little bit more money going towards economic development, but just as important, we have more functions working together, and those efficiencies help, for sure. But the 2 grays also work with us, and you all are very familiar with the Wayne County Land Bank. The Wayne County Land Bank is charged with taking properties that are distressed properties and using the tools in the land bank to get them back into productive use. We have used the land bank to our advantage. We have sold properties to the land bank like 511 or 640 Temple, and that has brought in, a lot of resources to the county's functions to help fight foreclosures. We held McLeod Steel in the land bank for a year so that the county was free from liability because it's a contaminated site. So it is a function that we utilize all the time. And so we feel like that is a piece to the puzzle for how we get properties back into productive use. And then Aerotropolis. I think, Commissioner Palomero, you no longer sit on the board, but you used to. Commissioner Jesus, you have chaired the board in the past, if I'm not mistaken. I know it's your district. Maybe you sit on the board now.
I sit on the board.
Yeah. And so other commissioners, I think, have sat upon Aerotropolis. We've used the Aerotropolis board to help us bring Amazon, help us bring, Penske, Brosa, Mopar, and at least half a dozen other kinds of developments in the time that we've been here. And so it is a tool that can be utilized to bring us a lot of success. And so we've been very, very happy about that. And again, it's a piece of our puzzle, okay? And so that's how the division and the functions are supposed to kind of be working together. The next slide is to show kind of how it all kind of comes together. Maybe this is a thing that only makes sense to me, but I feel like I wanted to display it to you all to see how it works together. We try to affect the economy on every level that we can, parcel by parcel, at the smallest level, whether it's the land bank and working with them on, working with our communities on side lot programs or finding their most, distressed properties. The real estate and development team out of the buildings division, as I mentioned, we have sold a lot of acreages and buildings out of that division. And every time we do, we work with our local community to be able to do that. Community development and placemaking. I can tell you that in this last round of RFPs, there have been demo projects that have been awarded because of it. There have been, park projects that are a part of it, and all those things help facilitate the economy. The business development team, where we do everything from small business to big business, retention, expansion, and everything in between, and that is to help attract jobs and investment. And then, high-level policy stuff, which is really something that I've been sort of focusing on, and that's whether it's, working on transit or foreclosure policy or poverty prevention. You all may know that in Lansing, we've got a couple of bills up there right now. HB 5229, which is helping us try to get the Municipal Partnership Act passed, and the Pay As You Stay program, which is a program that we announced here on the 32nd floor with the mayor and the treasurer to make sure that those who are facing poverty and are on these payment plans, to figure out a way to give them some relief in the trying times that they're facing. And so the question is, how do all these functions work together to help improve our overall economy? And that's what we try to do. You can go to the next one. So this is the team. And I wanted you all to meet the team, get to know the team, know their functions. Note that in the bottom right corner, Chris Gerwood, he's from Aerotropolis, okay? We went through a very extensive interview process that included the board and local community. So I included him in this, even though he's not technically a part of the county. Anthony Cartwright, bottom in the middle there, he is part of our Buildings and Capital Development team. He's not on the Economic Development Division team. But I wanted you to meet him because we see everybody kind of working together to make sure that we're maximizing all of our resources. So first, let me introduce to you Shannon Selby. She's got an extensive amount of experience when it comes to economic development. You should know we did a national search for this, received a lot of different applications, and we really feel like we got the best of the best. So I wanted to introduce her to you. You all get to know her, and then she can introduce the team.
Great, thank you, Assistant County Executive Hall. I'm very happy to be here. Good morning, commissioners, committee members. A little bit about my background. I've been here for about 12 weeks from Phoenix, Arizona, high-growth city, worked for JLL, a global real estate firm, one of the largest in the country. I worked on the senior leadership team, traveling across the country, helping corporate America maximize their portfolios, their real estate portfolios, and mitigate risk. Previous to that, I worked for the city of Phoenix for about 5 years, economic development and management, traveled the country recruiting companies to Phoenix, including a tremendous amount from California, technology companies, and also from the city of Tempe as economic development director. So I have a mixed bag of economic development and commercial real estate. The commercial real estate really plays well with economic development, a very big piece. So the portion that I handle obviously is overseeing the division. I'm very excited about this team that we have in place. They're all very business savvy team members, and we'll introduce those to you. But really what my role is to oversee the initiatives, get the programs launched, which we've launched. I'll talk a little bit more about that, and work on special projects and workforce development. So with that, I will begin to introduce the team. David Schreiber, I'm sure you all know David. David's been holding the fort down here. He's done a great job. He's been very instrumental in the transition with the team members. Great background and very well respected in the community. David.
Good morning, Commissioners. It's good to see you again. I cover the Western Wayne area in terms of working with our existing business community, and that's probably my primary thing. Work very closely with the communities there. Give you one example that just came up this morning of the types of things that we get involved with to help support our business community. I was reached out to this morning by the city of Livonia and the state of Michigan. They had recently been in contact with a company in Livonia that is complaining about the fact that their internet service is inconsistent there. So I'm already getting engaged to find out what the problem is, what types of, what service they have, and I will make sure that I then connect with those service providers and we'll resolve that problem. So just one good example.
Great. Thank you, David. Watha Donaro is not here today. She couldn't be with us this morning, but she is phenomenal. She does our brownfield financing. She does our new market tax credits. She's applied for a very large batch, and that'll be very helpful in getting development projects. And she also does the day-to-day operation of the boards. The next person up is Brian Bilger. He's Business Development Manager for Downriver. He has a tremendous amount of experience, has been with the Chamber previously, does a lot of business attraction and business retention, and really he's our expert in the utilities arena. Utilities play a big part in industrial development and in attracting industrial companies, so we're very happy to have Brian.
Good morning, Commissioners. Just a little background on myself. I've been doing economic development for about 18 years now. I was at the chamber before this. Before that, I was at Jobs Ohio, and then I worked for Lucas County for a number of years. Currently working with downriver communities, working with DT. The biggest issue we're working with right now is as they get ready to recommission the 2 power plants downriver. How do we give those communities a soft landing and working on projects and expansion? Companies that are next to them, how that's going to affect them.
Great, thank you, Brian. Next up is Kamal Al-Sawafi. Kamal handles, you'll see a territory map, Eastern Wayne County. He does business attraction in the logistics sector, and he'll tell you why, and also the defense sector, and he'll tell you why. His expertise is logistics, and Kamal.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Kamal Sawafi, your new business development manager. I cover the northeastern part of Wayne County as well as Romulus. A little bit about my background. I came over from Fiat Chrysler Automobiles, where I took part in their manufacturing leadership development program, a 2-year program that really allowed me to have a deep understanding of the manufacturing process. Afterwards, I took over the logistics side of the house, where I focused on the logistics side of Fiat Chrysler Automobiles. And prior to all of that, I owned my own small business right here in Wayne County, so I know the struggles and courage it takes to run and start up your own small business. Currently, I'm also a 2nd lieutenant in the Army National Guard, and I look forward to serving our community in and out of uniform. Thank you.
Thank you. Next up is Anthony Cartwright. So as Assistant County Executive Hall mentioned, Anthony is in our buildings division, but he handles our real estate. He works with the brokers. That in itself is a big job, the commercial real estate brokers, and does the county-wide leasing and purchase agreements. Anthony.
Good morning, everyone. Like Shannon said, I'm Anthony Cartwright. I'm in charge of the real estate for the entire county, so that's pretty much all your territories. A little bit of background about myself is I'm a homegrown Detroit Cass Tech graduate of Michigan State. Graduated, took a job in global sourcing for Honeywell International. Go green over there.
He told us after the interview process.
After that, I actually came back home, got into real estate about 18 years ago. Opened up a real estate company about 16 years ago, been a small business owner in that field, and I'm very happy to be here and help the county figure out where the land is, what's the best opportunity for the land and assets that we have. Thanks.
Great. Thank you, Anthony. Next up is Lucia Mesa. So Luce is a U of M graduate.
Yeah.
And she leads our research and strategy management analytics. Very smart. She's been great to get us up and running. Our website, our presentations, Luce.
Good morning, Commissioners. Lucia Mesa, Southwest Detroit raised, graduate of Southwestern High School. 3 times a Wolverine. I have a master's in public policy and master's in applied economics from the University of Michigan. Previous to this, I was doing small business support with the Detroit Economic Growth Corporation. And previous to that, I was with the University of Michigan's Economic Growth Institute doing research as well. So a lot of data experience and community engagement experience as well.
Great, thanks, Luce. Luce is really helpful to Kamal and up next Nasser on the small business because she's been here, done that with DEGC, so she's kind of wearing 2 hats. Next up is Nasser Kade. He specializes really in small business. Project manager, he handles, you'll see on the territory, Western Wayne as well. Nasser is a go-to, get-it-done kind of a business development guy. He is also our liaison with DPS. So when businesses are having issues, he's doing that county-wide. We bring in Nasser to, connect the dots and get that over the finish line. So Nasser?
Appreciate the kind introduction, Shannon. I don't know what else to say after that, but basically glad to be part of the team. I cover the areas of Dearborn Heights, Wayne, Westland, Redford Township, and Inkster. And I'm happy to do so. Project management is my background. I love to solve problems for the communities. I work well with all communities. I've met all the communities so far. And we're building a very strong relationship, and hopefully we're going to get a lot of development done. And I also play, as you mentioned, Shannon, the role of resolving any issues that come up with the communities in our Department of Public Services. So that's a niche that I enjoy doing. I enjoy resolving issues for our communities, and I'm glad to be here, and I appreciate the time that you've given us today to speak on economic development.
Thank you, Nasser. Nasser also worked for Ford for 10 years, so we really appreciate his insight on that. Next up is Christopher Girdwood. So he's our new executive director, kind of new, October, with Detroit Regional Aerotropolis. I've had the pleasure to work directly with Chris, as the team has as well. He's very seasoned. He's very good. You're going to see a lot of great things happening in Aerotropolis. Chris?
Thanks, Shannon. Sterling Heights, Michigan, born and raised. Went to Michigan State and then the University of Michigan. It was a both school. But I've been gone for 11 years. I spent 4 years in D.C., 4 years in Los Angeles, and then some time in Northern Virginia. But I have 2 young kids, a 2- and a 4-year-old, so it's good to be back home with a free babysitter nearby, a lot of my friends. And so thank you for the opportunity to come back home and lead Aerotropolis. So 2 unique anchor institutions, Willow Run Airport and DTW, and the opportunity to go vertical on over 6,000 square feet of greenfield sites. Khalil had mentioned the Pinnacle site, which I think will lead in the nation in transportation, logistics, light manufacturing, and distribution. So, what I can do is take the expertise that I'm learning from my team here at Wayne County and make sure we're proactive. If a business is expanding, we want to keep them here in our backyard, but also work to attract companies from Chicago, Indianapolis, Cleveland, our competitor markets, to utilize the anchor institutions of DTW and Willow Run. So, any questions, feel free to reach out to me. Thank you, Chairman. I saw you the other day, and I look forward to meeting each and every one of you.
Thank you, Chris. Aerotropolis is really a one-of-a-kind opportunity in the country. Working for Phoenix, and they owned Sky Harbor, you never saw any land available around there. The industrial developers gobbled it up, and it was great for the tax base. So
The one thing I want to mention is, as you can see, we have a very talented team. When we went about trying to find the best and brightest to take these positions, we looked nationally. We've got folks from Ohio, Virginia, Arizona. We also have some homegrown folks that have a ton of talent. We stole people from FCA. We've stole people from, the mayor of Detroit. We've stolen really talented folks to really brighten up this team, and I couldn't be happier about that.
great. So this is kind of our 4 buckets of our programs that we currently have in place, initiated. As Assistant County Executive Hall mentioned, the business retention and expansion is a huge piece, especially if we go into any downturn. Keeping our companies healthy, happy, and here is extremely important. That is a big push for this team. They've all been given a 500 meeting goal between the 4 business development managers, so 125 meetings between now and September 30th fiscal year. So they're out there now. Last year, the number was 23 before the new team. This year, it's 500. So you will see them out and about talking to communities, talking to companies. Really important piece. Plus, on top of that, they have a goal of 200 meetings that's on top of the 500 with service providers in Wayne County that work on projects, whether that's commercial real estate brokers, contractors, architects, banks, all those people that are working to get projects. We put people in projects together. So that's 700 is our goal by September 30th. So they're out there working really hard. That's on top of everything else we're doing. The business attraction piece, we work with our partners such as Detroit Regional Partnership, MEDC, and we also work on our own trying to bring businesses and development to Wayne County. We have the business attraction managers and I work together to pull the responses to requests for proposals together, and we do the meetings and the tours throughout Wayne County. Small business is also a push. Nasser and Kamal are specialized in that, with Luce kind of overseeing and helping them. So that's very important to continue to grow and support those businesses and deploy the programs and resources that they may not know about, that Kamal had mentioned. He was a business owner. I know Anthony was a business owner. So a lot of these small businesses don't get touched and aren't taken care of. So that's a big push. And then the 4th bucket is workforce development. So I have a little bit of background in that. That's going to be a big push for me and the team when we are seeing companies that have all these jobs that go unfilled, whether they're software engineers to skilled trades. we're in process of working with the community colleges and try to marry programs with the demand of the employers. So you'll see that kind of start to roll out. But we're actively meeting with the community college presidents and the community in their what they really need in terms of marrying apprenticeships with the community colleges and the workforce demands. The next slide is the business development coverage. So it's color-coded by business development manager. So you will see who is in your district. And on the page that says Meet the Team, there's their email. Always feel free to reach out to me, but you can reach out to them directly if you want to know what's going on. They might reach out to you if they need your help. So we're really want to partner with you on making these businesses successful and incoming businesses successful as well. I love this slide because this is the can-do attitude of our team. We have a seasoned team, one of the best teams I've seen around the country, even though some of them are new to economic development. I've worked a lot around a lot of teams on commercial real estate as well as economic development, and I would put this team up against anybody. Very seasoned, very motivated, very can-do. I told them very early on, I don't ever want to hear, that's the county, they won't get back to you. That's the county, they don't care. Because we do care, and we're running our business as if it's our own business. So we appreciate your time, and we look forward to working together. Thank you.
Well, thank you, and I want to thank the administration and assemble such a great team. Saying that, I like to remind you of something very important to me and probably all the other commissioners is this professionalism, and you're gonna be busy and doing a lot of things, but I like to have good communication with each commissioner and what's going on in their own district. Example, sometime I go to, let's take one of my cities in my district, and Mr. Anderson, Westland, and Wayne, and Romulus. Those cities suffer from lack of economic development in the past, whatever the reason was. But we love to have information. If something happened, I don't want to get caught with I don't know. Sure. The economic development working on something, and here this city called me to ask me a question about it, and I didn't know nothing about it. That really, it's not probably good system to do business. So to give a credit to the economic development, for the last few years, we have a good communication. We work together on so many projects under the leadership of Mr. Rahal. I really saying this not as a complaint, I'm saying it as a reminder. We need to keep the communication line strong.
Yes, sir.
And at this time, I open the floor for the commissioner for any question or comment. Commissioner Varga.
Thank you. I'm very impressed with the team that you had put together, and I'm glad to see that we do have our very homegrown Southwest Detroit person in the mix. There's a lot going in and around Southwest Detroit, Lincoln Park, and Melvindale. And so I'm really looking forward to meeting with all of you and see how we can all work together to move things forward. So I'm very, very excited. Thank you.
Commissioner Anderson.
I'm also, impressed with the team that you pulled together. I would only make a request that we maybe get an annual update as to things that are happening, that the economic development team has had an effect in whether it's attracting new businesses and new organizations to the county. I think that would give us a better understanding of what's happening across the county, and I appreciate my chair mentioning that as far as communicating with the commissioner that has the particular areas and letting us know what's in process, and so we if we're asked about it, we have some knowledge of it.
If I can make a point to that point right there is, we were so small that we had to focus on Pinnacle or McLeod, or we got to try to change the CDBG or, 640 or 511. It was very, you're 100% right. You can still see from the presentation that we're still small. We're better, I think. I think we got talent, no doubt. There's no doubt about that. And so I want to make this seem like I promise you things will fall in the cracks. And so for that, I do want to apologize. But I do think we will have better communication going forward because we have a little bit more resources now, and we have them focused on an area. And the one thing I wanted today is not only for you all to meet them, but I wanted them to meet you. And I wanted you all to impress upon them how important it was that those lines of communication are open. So I thank you for that, Commissioner and the Chairman, because they know how important it is now that in every project they do, I better make sure that, there's a heads up or there's a line of communication between the district of the commissioner.
Yeah, and I personally would like to see us move up in the ratings of the communities, the other counties as far as.
That's what we'd like to hear.
Yeah, because I think it's important. I mean, a county of our size.
Sure.
We should be more competitive, and I know it takes resources.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Just as a quick on that note, we have 1.75 million people in Wayne County. It's over 500,000 more than Oakland. That's double the size of Macomb. Washtenaw County, which outspends us, has 300-some thousand people in it. So other smaller counties have making it a budget priority because they feel like it pays dividends on return. A county our size, with the kind of team that we now have doing this, I think we may be primed for it.
Just a follow-up question to that. As far as Oakland County, I mean, they're the, it would take 5 times, we'd have to spend 5 times what we're spending, I think, does that number, the $8.8 million, does that include the Automation Alley expenditures, what they spend on the Automation Alley?
That's I don't know if Automation Alley comes out of that budget, but their dues to Automation Alley are a couple $100,000. It is not, Automation Alley is a lot of folks contributing to it. They've come to us for contributions in the past, and so it's supposed to be a regional entity. It is housed in Oakland County. It certainly provides a ton of attention in Oakland County. I've had a little reluctance to send the county residents money over there without a little bit more attention to Wayne County, to be frank with you. But it is an entity that is not within the county. They do have other things, Main Street. They have the medical Main Street. They have the different programs that are housed within their county. And that is their budget. And if I'm not mistaken, I could be wrong about this, I'd have to go back and check. I think they have $1 million traveling budget on top of it. So there's there's efforts that they put towards their internal budget, and then there are other efforts that support their economic development.
And that brings up another issue that I think we've failed to do, is to try to reach out to, nationally and internationally even, because we're close proximity to Canada,
Absolutely.
Of course, and try to attract more business development here from those areas. And I'd like to see us, just like Michigan advertises, you go to Chicago and you see the advertising to vacation in Michigan.
Yeah.
And I think, we probably have some untapped places there that we could reach out to. Thanks.
Thank you, Commissioner Anderson. Commissioner Baidoun.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Just to echo what my colleagues have said, thank you, Khalil and Shannon, for assembling such a great team. This looks like a dream team to me. And not only that, this is a diverse team of economic development, and it truly reflects the diversity in Wayne County. We got Spanish-speaking and Arabic-speaking members on your team. Luz, bienvenido. Nasser and Kamal, ahla wa sahla. I look forward to working with this great team. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner McCormick.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and I appreciate this presentation. My background is real estate, but in particular, the workforce development, you know, I've been pushing jobs, not
ma'am.
jails, and
Yes, ma'am.
and skilled trades. And
ma'am.
so I really wanted to find out what in particular you are doing right now. And I know you're just getting in the swing of things,
Yeah.
but anything in particular that
Yeah.
we might be able to help
Absolutely.
initiate in my community or my
Absolutely.
district or
Yeah, and I should point out that in some of those other counties, they have a different fund for workforce development, to which we have none. We have none. We have it kind of as a function of our economic development because we know how important it is to our businesses. You know, and our main function, business retention and expansion, almost 100% of the businesses we touch say one of their number one issues is workforce development, and they can't find the workers. And I think that's why we're so big on transit, because we know that's such a big piece to that puzzle. Interestingly enough, we have asked, one of the reasons why we hired Shannon was her expertise in this field. And one of the things that she's going on now in her few months that she's been here is sort of evaluating the workforce development landscape of what exists in Wayne County. There is like hundreds of different agencies in the state that do workforce development. In Wayne County, as you all know, both myself and the chairman sit on the SEGA board of SEMCA, which is the governing body of the SEMCA Workforce Development Agency. And typically, workforce development dollars flow from the federal government to the state down to individual agencies. And in the state, we have 16 different Michigan Works workforce development agencies. And the chairman and I sit on one of those, and that one covers Western Wayne County and parts of Monroe. There's a separate agency that covers the city of Detroit. And on top of those agencies, every community college has their own workforce development things going on. There are other independent agencies. And Shannon is in the process of evaluating all these things and how do we get folks to work together? Because that is the biggest problem. Yeah. The biggest issue we're finding right now is that it is not streamlined. 3 community colleges all performing, none of them talking to each other. All specialize in different things, none of them necessarily talking to their students about what they necessarily specialize in. And so there isn't a clearinghouse. There isn't a centralized deposit of businesses. I need, software engineers. There isn't a place to go. They have to fend for themselves. They have to find out which possible community college has to is an expert in that and how to go to them. Some of them are in different locations, and those community colleges are spread out. So we're in the process of evaluating all those things. If we were to do this right, and I think there's something to think about, and I'm getting out on the limb here. There's no doubt about it. But if we were to do this right, we're going to get serious about it. We got to put some resources behind doing it. If I were to tell you that this was Shannon's only job, I'd be lying to you. This is going to be a piece of her overall job. And I think in the future, if we're going to grow in this space, which is so important, we got to put some real resources behind it.
Okay. And for Detroit, do you have, I know Detroit is like its own separate baby.
DESC,
but yeah. Do you have any one person that is targeting Detroit?
Yeah.
So we've met, our teams have met, DEGC team with our team. I know that's really important. Detroit is very important to Wayne County. If you don't have a central city thriving, the rest of the county doesn't do as well. The only reason I say that is Phoenix, Arizona. I worked here, were the core central city and then surrounding cities. So to answer your question, Commissioner, we are all working together with Detroit. We do have Kamal doing existing business calls with the DEGC and with MEDC in Detroit. So we do have somebody dedicated to that, but then in terms of all of our business attraction, we're all working that piece as well.
Okay. Yeah, because, in all of the Detroit commissioners' communities, we want to see those small businesses grow and expand in the neighborhood.
Sure.
Because that's where it happens for a lot of us. And so I think that's important to look at. And any grant opportunities for those businesses rather than just loans, but some type of grant opportunity.
I know that Wafa De Niro is working on potentially that grant piece, because she's doing the incentives, and that's one of the things that we discussed.
I'm
was
sorry, who?
Wafa De Niro, she's not here. She does our brownfield incentives and
Right,
new
she's
market
a-
tax credits. Yep. So that's one thing we've talked about.
Okay, great. And had one other question, but I think oh, yes, Economic Development Corp. How does that, I see that that's not on here,
Yeah.
but how does that fit into?
Sure.
This organization?
Sure. So the Economic Development Corporation, the EDC, still is an active function member of the division department. It manages this building and the parking garage. It no longer manages 511, which we sold. And so it still manages those two properties. It does have the ability to issue bonds if there's a project that meets the criteria. There hasn't been one done by our administration. There was one. We came through the commission and it got approved, and then the financiers went into a different direction. They found some HUD financing that was more attractive, and the project got done, and it was fine. In the past, the previous administration utilized those bonds for, in Grosse Pointe, there's a senior housing, I can't remember. I wish, if Commissioner Killeen was here, he'd know exactly what it was. I just can't remember the name of the housing. So it does have the ability to issue favorable interest rate bonds that are backed by legislation that don't put the county's credit rating at risk, which is a very, very important piece to it. But for the most part, yeah, it's still in existence. It is technically, managed by, if you look at the sheet, under Wafa De Niro, she will, I'm still the executive director of the EDC, and she will help prepare all the board materials and those kinds of things.
Okay. So it's not on the flow chart here, but
It's a tool in the toolbox that we could possibly use for sure.
Great.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I like to remind everybody we have 7 minutes before the Public Service Committee meet in this room. Commissioner Ware.
And we're
Thank
available
you.
for questions after this.
Commissioner, then Commissioner Palomera. We have
Okay,
time
I'll
for
be
the question.
quick. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So what I would like to see and what I envision is more projects coming out of your department and less selling of county properties or real estate. And let's get back to developing good projects along with assisting the businesses. That's one thing. The second is, in my newsletter, I need you to write up exactly what type of services you'll be offering with a working phone number and email address. I would like to mail that out in my next newsletter.
Sure.
Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Palomera?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Very well done. Not surprised. Glad to meet your whole team. Could you just give a brief overview of what's going to happen Monday at the Economic Summit, how it came about, who's participating, and which is taking place in the geographic center of the county, which is in Taylor, I believe.
That's right. Yeah. So Congresswoman Debbie Dingell, very passionate about trying to bring an economic development summit to her area. Talked to DTE about hosting an event that they're all paying for and they've asked us to be a part of. The county executive will be giving brief opening remarks. I will be talking for about 10 minutes about economic development things that are happening at the county. And the idea is to point out, here are some of the things that have happened downriver. Here are some of the challenges that folks in her district are facing. And here's some of the opportunities. And that's the crux of the event. And love to have as many people come as possible.
Can you remind us, I'm sorry, what time is the event and where?
Yeah, we'll get you all the contact information so that it'll be Monday. I think it's at 8 a.m. I think it starts at 8 a.m. Day after the Super Bowl. So you know we didn't plan it. The 8 a.m. Monday, Taylor, Wayne County Community College off North Line Road, if I remember correctly. Yeah, thanks.
Commissioner Anderson, the last one.
Yes, very quickly, that is something too that I think everyone would like to have more information about the upcoming
Sure.
events and when you're scheduling them, if they could possibly, I know that not just the commission schedule, but a lot of times they're scheduled on days that we have committee meetings and we
Sure.
have full board.
Yeah.
So I think that would be beneficial to all of us. Thank you.
Commissioner Ware.
I'm sorry, this was my third. May I have a list of the services presently that you can assist Detroit? And may I have a list of any projects in the past where we've assisted Detroit? Let's go back like 2 or 3 years.
Sure.
That's what I want.
Yeah, no problem.
Thank you. Thank you, Shannon.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you to the whole team. It's something give us a positive feeling to the future, and I hope we'll continue working together for the success of Wayne County. Doesn't matter where. And the success of one area is the success of the whole county. So we have the chain reaction on all of us. The success of Detroit would spread all over the county's area. And I hope to see Wayne County getting what it deserved, because in the past we was the automotive capital of the world. It was more job than the population at the present time. And I think this team's responsibility is to bring back economic growth that bring more resident to the county. If they work here, they want to live here. So we have a great deal of hope today from what we see from this team. And let's get to it and do it.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next item, please.
E, such other matters as may be properly submitted before the committee.
There are none.
F, public comments.
Any person from the public like to comment? Once, twice, 3 times? Next item.
Adjournment.
Support. Motion been made and supported. All those who agree signify by saying aye.